Daudi Anguka. I have Lina Sande who plays Mvera. I have Patrick Owino who plays Thabiti. And I just, first of all, naona ni Daudi pale lakini naambiwa ni David. Sasa ipi ni ipi?
Sijua Mombasa Daudi, Nairobi ni David.
Oh, okay. So that's why I'm like, but because I'm like, I knew him as Daudi, like in sawa naambiwa ni David. I don't know what happened, but welcome guys to the show.
Thank you.
First of all, can I just say congratulations?
Asante
because
sana.
this is
Asante sana.
It's just the quality. I had told you guys before, this is going to be worth every single accolade that it received. And I know that there are so many things that you want to tell us about it. So let me start with you. Uko Nairobi, so David, how, tell me about where the concept, where the idea, where the storyline, where it all came from.
So, at first, nilikuwa nataka kutengeneza story about Mekatilili. Na unajua Mekatilili ni hero wa Coast na generally Kenya nzima. So baadaye nikaangalia budget za kutengeneza hiyo story, nikasema okay, hiyo ni 3 years back. Nikasema hapana, hii sitaweza, acha nitengeneze a modern Mekatilili. Na ndo hapo nikakuja na jina la Mvera. So Mvera nikamfikiria huyu msichana, nikaangalia challenges ambazo zina face watu wa Mombasa sana na generally Coast. So hapo ndo nikatengeneza hii story ya Mvera cause ulikuwa pata hiyo time kulikuwa na challenge moja, hata rafiki yangu mmoja alipata. Kila mtu akimaliza form 4 afikiria kwenda nje za nchi. Na I think the same thing happened na story ya Uasin Gishu, history ya Finland, ambao wazazi walikuwa wamechanga, watu wakauza ng'ombe, and kila mtu akitarajia kuwa mtoto wake ataenda apate greener pasture kuja saidie back community. So wakati nilifikiria hiyo story ndo nikafikiria okay, hii story yangu nipeleke kwa hii village, then ni build huyu msichana ambao atakuwa nitamuita Mvera. Mvera ni is a Mijikenda name ambao inamaanisha blessing. So hapo ndo nikatengeneza hiyo story na huyu msichana ambaye amelelewa kwa hii community na ni msomi, kwanza amepita fine Nairobi hiyo time, lakini na kuna mtu hapa ambao ni tycoon amekuwa akisaidia hii community for the last 15 years. Akiwaambia kuwa anawapeleka nje za nchi. Lakini huyu jamaa kumbe alikuwa na nyumba yake katikati ya msitu, amekuwa akifanya organ trafficking, lakini amekuwa akidanganya community na Photoshop. Kuna mahali kwa nyumba yake ametengeneza studio yake ya kupiga picha kwa green screen, tumapigwa picha alafu yatumia community. Na unajua kwa village ukiphotoshop tu kitu yote wanaamini
kila kitu.
So hapo ndo story yetu nikaweza kuibuild, then nikatengeza script which nimewakia for the last 3 years. Na Mvera amekuwa kingoja for the last 3 years na Thabiti.
Wote wawili walikuwa wanajua?
Yeah, nimekuwa
you had already ulikuwa ushawa cast?
Yeah, nilikuwa nishaandika first draft, nikataka kushoot. Then budget kidogo zikakata.
No ukawaambia tayari?
Yeah, huyu kwa nishamcast tayari. Thabiti alikuwa nakutana naye mtani naambia wewe kuna kitu afanye.
Thabiti alikuwa anafikiria unamdanganya. Ile kitu ya Wakenya ile nakupigia.
Yeah, so then it happened this year nikaamua kutengeneza story. Na nikaamua kuingia kwa production.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So hebu niambie kuhusu Mvera na role ambayo unacheza katika kipindi hii.
Mvera is a modern Mekatilili na yeye ndio sauti. She's the voice of the community. She's the one who brings change. Na yeye ndo ni kama superhero. You know, we have the other superheroes, but now this one is our superhero, fused with tradition, with culture, and also a bit of modernism. Yes.
Thabiti, impression yako ya kwanza ilikuwaje uliposoma your script, your first draft anasema alikupatia?
Actually, the first draft, Thabiti was more brutal than what you see.
But it was beyond brutal. I even told you. It was the first thing I told you. I was like, why are you? You're so gentle and so kind in person. The character.
Hiyo ndio kazi ya usanii.
Hapo umefanya kazi nzuri basi.
Asante sana. Well, when I looked at the script the first time, the first script he gave me, Nikona, okay, can I pull this off? Why not? So, and my inspiration was drawn from watching movies ambazo kuna watu brutal. So I'll pick one point from that person, one from the other, then I see how I can incorporate them into my character. So that was what I was doing.
Yeah, but it was to me it just seemed like a very tough character to play because of the reality that we live in. right now. So it hits so close to home.
Right.
How was it for you, knowing that this is something that is happening currently?
Actually, when we shot, most of this hadn't happened. It kind of came like a premonition, I would say. I think Daudi had a premonition, I would say it.
Ilikuwa ni ndoto Daudi?
Yeah.
Ulikuwa unaambia?
Akiandika hiyo script,
Yeah.
Shakahola hadn't happened. Wasingishu hadn't happened. And when we shot, all that hadn't happened. They came after.
So for many people who don't know that, they think that this is something that was done very recently because it's capturing so many things that have been making headlines recently.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Talking about this educational, entertaining, dramatic, suspenseful, riveting, are there any other ones I want to throw to the film called Mvera. The premiere is happening tomorrow, by the way, so stick around for the details so that you can also come out looking dapper, looking nice. They said with a touch of, is it African or class?
African.
Oh, it was African.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the class is a must.
Yeah.
It's African. That's a touch of. They want plenty. They want plenty of class. Yeah. And right now in studio we have two of the cast members and the producer of the show, Daudi, who was just telling me how when you want to talk about your stories, when you want to produce your films, you don't have the grants at that time because KFCB. Talk about KFC, sorry, the Kenya Film Commission, talk about the grants that they have that they give every now and then. But you mentioned that, you know, funds are a bit of a challenge. Was that not an option? Samahani. Kiingereza samahani.
Yeah, it's okay. So kitu ina happen sometimes ni kuwa uwezi ngoja paka grants zifike. Na una story yako vile umewakia, grants zinaenda yearly. Yeah. And nataka kushukuru KFC wamekuwa kisupport local filmmakers. Yeah. Na unapata sometimes with the budget ambao ulikuwa nafanya shoot nao Mvera, ningeweza kungoja nao grants, maybe singeweza ifanya. So kitu niliamua mimi mwenyewe acha nichange. Nifanye maybe next time nikitaka grants
utapata
nitaenda na kama mimi nipate kama wengine.
Yeah. And I think this, man, you need to get those funds. Lina, for you, what could you say was the toughest scene for you to shoot? There's so many different things I was seeing, from you crawling to the ground and from you just getting into arguments, and it looked challenging.
Well, it was challenging, of course, but it wasn't so much of a challenge. Now, when we talk about shooting now,
tell me now.
There were some scenes that was so emotional, they were so heavy, and one of my challenging scenes was crawling on the ground. Talk about crawling on gravel, you know. And then I remember that day I woke up after shooting the whole night. I woke up, I was so tired, and then Daudi calls me, Mvera, come. And then he tells me, you don't really look tired, you know, and you need to look tired. So what you need to do is run, and it's uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. So I had to run up, down, and then the crawling. There's take one, there's take two, there's... Yes. As a method actress, you have to do it. You know, there's no shortcut.
No.
Yeah.
So you had to wait.
Yeah.
How many times did you lost count?
I lost count.
Oh, because you had to look a certain way. It wasn't about how many times.
It wasn't about
how many laps
times,
you take.
It was about what does your face show? Are you showing that? Are you showing what the scene needs? So I had to jog, and I hadn't even had breakfast. So
you were starving. Thabitu, what about you?
I must say there were certain scenes which were very challenging. One of them was when we were burning the dummy bodies. There was a lot of smoke. Yeah. And you're there looking into the, I mean, you have to see your lines, and the smoke is really hurting your eyes. You find you're just, you know, your tears are just coming down on their own, involuntarily. Yeah. And you have to stare, keep on staring. Yeah. So that was a very challenging, and the smoke was also very choking. You know, so it was me there, and Mama, Thabiti's mother on a wheelchair. So she sat there, I'm holding her, you know, pulling those, you know, the Thabiti himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tough guy.
Yeah.
And then there was an emotional scene, a very emotional one, which apparently didn't get to the final cut for some reason. This is when Thabiti actually sits down. You know, back then, as he was a kid, he was coerced by the mother to kill the father. Yeah, and then, but it was in the training phase, he had to slaughter a chicken. So in the face of slaughtering the chicken, so in when he's having the when he's thinking about it, and he sat there, he goes to the chicken coop, picks up the chicken, then Thabiti has to sit down, pull those emotions, shed tears, and then eventually slaughter the chicken. That was a very, very emotional scene.
Because you had to sit in there with it. You had to sit there with your emotions.
Yes.
Oh, well, the emotions
Yes.
of the character.
Yeah.
But you still have
and then
to
humming a very solemn song.
How old was Thabiti at the time?
Okay.
Being forced now to...
Thabiti,
should I say- I don't know.
there are actually there are two
Tell my story.
Thabitis. There's a young Thabiti.
Yes, and then
the elder Thabiti.
Okay.
The young Thabiti acted that part where he stabs the father and does all that stuff.
Yeah.
So in the recollection phase,
Yeah.
Thabiti is now there recollecting what happened in his childhood. So you have to bring up those emotions.
Yes.
You know, and you really have to bring it out, feel it, shed the tears, and at the same time humming a very solemn song.
Now, you were the violent dad then?
Yeah. No.
Or you were the son?
Thabiti's
the violent-
dad was very violent.
Okay. Grew up in a very violent home.
Yes.
The mom was also equally as abusive.
The mom was not abusive. What she was, she actually through her perception that Thabiti was weak, so used to use a certain word, useless. So you'd all the time tell Thabiti that he's useless. Yeah. So Thabiti took that and turned it to something else. He became a creature, a creation of the mother. You know, to show her that I can be better than this. I can take care of you. I can take care of everything. So that's Thabiti for you.
But do you think that his upbringing had anything to do with the direction his life took?
Absolutely.
And how that was his definition of masculinity, that I am now a grown man, look dad, look mom, I'm a man, I'm doing the things that you expected of me. Do you think it had anything?
There's a Swahili saying that goes that mwana umleavyo ndivyo
Ndivyo akuavyo.
akuavyo.
Yeah.
So it's basically along those lines, because the mother was being abused by the father, but she took it out on Thabiti for some reason. And eventually Thabiti, trying to show his masculinity and to prove to the mother that I'm not as useless as you think I am, he turned into something else.
Wow. That is, I mean, I feel like if I ask more questions, I'm going to give a lot away. Na pia mimi sana najaribu kuelewa, so let me not give myself spoilers. I do want to watch it tomorrow. Like we said, is the premiere. But before unambie details za kesho, there was something about spirit, or this, I don't know if it's still a belief, but they believe that spirits lead them as well.
Yeah.
Sijui hiyo nitaulizaje na Kiswahili.
Sijui maybe utaiuliza kama wanaitwaje spirit kwa Kiswahili.
Mapepo.
Si pepo.
Mapepo, majini, maruhani, sijui.
Aweza sema maruhani.
Maruhani.
That ni spirits ambazo zinaingia kwa mtu.
Maruhani.
Yeah. Na kwa Mvera tulikuwa tumetumia Mekatilili kama hero wa kumdrive Mvera kupata hiyo strength. That's why tukaweza kufuse two stories ya Mekatilili ambaye alikuwa hero na Mvera ambao tumemweka kama modern Mekatilili, so that tuweze kupush hiyo story na hiyo spirit. Ukiangalia kwa trailer, there's a scene where mzungu is being slapped hapo na Mekatilili ilikuwa tunaonyesha hiyo strength ambayo sisi African nguvu yetu ilikuwa ni kwa tuwezi pigana na binduki hiyo time, but mkono wetu ilikuwa very powerful. Ilikuwa tukupiga slap wewe mzungu amki kabisa. So hizo ndo stories ambapo najaribu kuonyesha watu that fight yetu ilikuwa ni hiyo. Mwanamke alikuwa hataki mchezo hiyo time, na ndio hiyo mekatili. Na sasa hizi nikawaletea Mvera. Ukiangalia Mvera kwa hiyo story, amemsumbua Thabiti sana. Thabiti hakutarajia since day one alivyoingia kwa hiyo nyumba, alianza muuliza story, naweza enda New York, na naweza mpata mamangu, and I think paka baadaye akaja kugundua kuwa kumbe huyu jamaa si mtu mzuri, na kuweza kungangana na kurejea kwa community na kuweza kumake sure jamaa amejulikana vitu ambavyo amekuwa akifanya.
Alafu inazungumzia vile watu wengi wako desperate, especially young people, kwa sababu unataka kusaidia mama, unataka kusaidia babako, unataka pia wewe mwenyewe kujisaidia, you know. So I'm pretty sure, especially kwa sababu wanasema I think Kenya is a human trafficking capital, right? Or one of the stops. So watu wanakuja hapa kutafuta. Kuna vitu mingi watu wanakuja kufanya hapa because of corruption and how rife it is. So the premiere here in Nairobi will happen tomorrow. Lakini of course lazima ingeanza 001. It was a very successful premiere. Tell me about it. Nasikia governor pia alikuwa amefika.
Mombasa ilikuwa poa sana. We didn't expect the turnout because at first ilikuwa tickets zinauza pole sana. Paka kuna time namwambia production manager wa Mbui, nadhani kama hii event haitajaa, sitaki kuona kwa ofisi, kwa na washtua kidogo.
Is that Mbui?
Yeah,
Mbui is off the set.
Yeah. So 3 days before the event niko na tickets zinaanza sell, na naanzaambia watu nini inafanyika leo, karibia watu 100 wamenunua tickets, kesho yake karibia watu 200, and siku ya event ilivyofika paka kuna time tunajaribu kufunga hiyo pay bill and tukashindwa cause wanatuambia iwezi, hatuwezi ifunga, na watu walijaa kwa event, na pia sisi tuli make sure event kawa nzuri, na governor mwenyewe aliweza kufika Abdul Swamad na kuweza kuisupport cause governor aliketi 1 hour 50 minutes akiwatch hiyo movie. Siku expect tuliketi mimi na yeye hapo na tulikula popcorn sana na yeye, but alikuwa yuko glued kwa screen mpaka nashindwa huyu jamaa hata sinzi.
Alisema nini afterwards?
ana plan nzuri za kusupport local content. Na nadhani kwa agenda yake moja ni grants ambao anataka kuwekea upcoming filmmakers because tunahitaji more Daudis so that we have more films. Si Daudi peke yake aweze fanya film because unapata si rahisi kama vile tunapiga story na wewe. Kufanya feature film na returns zake kwa tricky sana. So kama producer kuweza kufanya more films na watu waweze kubelieve kwa local content, inataka tuwe na content nyingi sana kwa hizi cinemas.
Thabiti, have you guys invited our governor?
That is part of the marketing team. I'm not aware.
Oh, that's Wambui. To know.
Hiyo ni kazi ya Wambui.
Hiyo tutajua. Okay, so please patia watu details.
So kesho tutakuwa ndani ya Anga Cinemas CBD ambao tunaijua kwa jina la 20th Century kuanzia 5:30 PM ambao tutakuwa na red carpet affair. Then by 7 PM tutakuwa tuna watch hiyo movie. Na kuingia kwa hiyo movie tunalipisha pesa kidogo tu. Ni 1,500. Pay bill ni 510 800. Account ni jina la huyu Mvera. So tunaomba watu wote kesho waweze kufika, tuweze kuwatch Mvera, tuweze kusherehekea pamoja.
Wow.
Na dress code ni elegant with a touch, an African or traditional touch.
Yes, an African or traditional. I really like yours actually. You look dressed for it ready. You look, I like it. Well, like I said, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done. I know it takes such. Like you said, it's been 3 years in the making.
That's true.
And then she's talking about how you were making Hayani prepare for the Olympics. Well, she's getting, you know, her character and making sure that she's going to perform her role the best way possible, which she did. We can't wait to watch it. So I will be joining you guys tomorrow. So I'll come and see you guys. Yes? So please buy the tickets, guys. Buy the tickets. Okay, so you can get, like, we have the poster. We're going to be sharing that on our social media pages, so you can just go and buy and you'll enjoy, I promise, as you also get to learn something about what happens in 001, the county. Okay, so we have, what are we doing? Are we taking a quick break? Osoro disappeared. Osoro, I told you I'm going to be bringing people to give you a job. You always tell me you're an actor. Amina, you know I'm an actor. You know Daudi?
Yes.
Then why haven't you pitched? I thought this would be your opportunity. I thought this is your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So, Amina, you are going by the script so far. Thank you. Okay. That's how you are supposed to cue me in, so that now he gets to know I'm an actor and he take us. But if you saw me behind the scenes, nilikuwa na production manager pale. Nilikuwa namwambia and she happens to be my neighbor.
That's a lie.
Yeah, like for the first time we meet my neighbor. Like, and
it's true?
Like for real, yeah, it's true, yeah. She's an amazing neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah, ni producer moja mzee. But sasa one thing na kwa ploti tumemnini kwa WhatsApp group za nini kelele yake. Kelele yake. For the first time watu watamiskelele yake saa 6. But because atakuwa hapa. But for real, like it's a true story, kelele.
So have you seen the trailer from Mvera?
Yeah, I watched it. I don't know kama tulikuwa tunaiwatch na wewe with the whole production team, but Amina for sure, like unajua si chocha or anything just because they're here. Work was put in and you can see it by yourself. And even from, you know, what they're telling us, you know, how they achieved some scenes, you can really tell, anyway, we are moving to the next level. Already we are there. Because I have amazing feedback. I mean, if you allow me to,
yes,
tuko hapa na Victor Odongo anasema Daudi Anguka is doing film without any support from the government. So imagine akipata hiyo support. Kijana atakuwa best filmmaker in Africa. Let's support our own son from Kenya. Tunasema mbuya mono kabisa. There's another one hapa. Kuna kamoja hapa kazuri. Sitaki kuharibu na yes. Bado ni yeye tu kumbe. But anasema I'm Victor Nando, trending from Bangladesh slums in Mikindani, Mombasa. I don't know if Amina you've been to Mikindani. Bishomoroni.
No.
Dogo Nini.
No. Is he making them up?
No, like Amina, you'd want to be Dogo Nini?
Oh. No.
No, ask Daudi akwambie ni wapi hapo.
Daudi uko ni wapi? Sijui Bangladesh.
Yafaa tukupeleke Bangladesh.
Sema nipeleke.
Yaani Amina ujui
Amsha chakula ya Bangladesh.
No, muulize Dogo Nini.
Hiyo ni State House.
Dogo Nini ni wapi?
Dogo Nini.
Bangladesh is State House. Okay.
Sumalizie hiyo jina Dogo Nini.
Dogo Nini?
Ni Dogo Kundu Mombasa. Ni kweli ipo. Angalia maps, eka kwa taxi sahi kwambie take me to turn left. You have arrived at Dogo Kundu. So it's true, like for real. Amina, it's a place.
Dogo Kundu ni barabara ambayo ifai ijengwe. Kupita pale ferry.
Hata ilikuwa commissioned, it was in the papers. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta afungua barabara ya wapi? Amina ukweli. Not my words. For real. There is another bridge inajengwa hapo ama ni bypass I think, right? It's a bypass. Rais afungua barabara iliyozibika ya wapi? Dogo Nini. So Victor anasema, trending from Bangladesh. Many shout out to Daudi Anguka, the young film genius is doing wonders back home. Mombasa employed more than 50 young people in his AR films productions. One thing, Amina, film, like if we empowered filmmakers, employment iko hapo ni wazimu. Like umayenda set kuna tu mtu shika hivi boom. Hivi, ameshika hivi, ndio tupate sauti poa. Kuna msee anapika, ndio make sure amechelewesha food. He only has one job. He or she only has one job to make sure food imefika on time, lakini bado itachelewa. But hiyo yote tunasema ni employment. There's also another amazing feedback.
As you read the other tweet, how many people worked on it?
Mvera, we worked with around 400 to 500 team.
Wow.
A team of 400 to 500. Because watu walikuwa wengi sana. Because I think extras peke yake they were more than 300.
Wow.
Alafu kuna team ya crew more than 100, then na cast plus supporting characters. So ndo maana unaona hiyo ukiketi only 2 weeks vitu kwa zinakimbia mbio. Yeah.
Umesikia Osoro?
Yes.
The tweet said 50 people, he said 400 to 500.
400 to 500.
That's a big number.
That's a good number. Like you can imagine the jobs that the government promised us. Tutoe tu movie so 3. Na tuko na how many employed Kenyans? So the last one, Amina, tuko na Era Palma anasema Daudi Anguka is not only a filmmaker but the coolest boss. He's never a boss when we get to set. Big up to the whole Mvera team. Tukutane Anga Cinemax kesho. Mwambie Mvera nitakuwa +1 wake basi 001 International. Kaka Palma naomba uniruhusu kesho mimi ndio nitakuwa na mwandada pale tukitembea mwendo wa aste Shanpata.
Na jirani wako?
Amemwacha jirani.
Umemwacha jirani?
No, jirani sasa, jirani mgani? Mimi nilihama. I moved. Mimi nilihama.
Sawa basi.
No, but for real, mimi ni wa second floor, yeye ni wa third floor. So ndio ukaa juu yangu. So kwa hiyo
anakukalia chapati.
No, for real, see, it's true. Now these things, you think that you're making them up. It's true, she's my neighbor, and for them to make, si ndio tumekaa kwa hiyo apartment for the longest time, tumekaa hapo for 6 years. So for 6 years amekuwa wapi? Juu. So nikimalizia, of course tuko na a lot of, feedback pale kwenye #meme challenge. I'll be reading them later. Amina.
Yes. Thank you very much, Osoro. Thank you so much, guys. We'll catch